All right, guys, just like it is every year, the end of the year is always busy, and right now we got one of many main events headed your way. We're going to talk about the TUF 28 finale, which takes place on Friday here in Las Vegas. We're lucky, guys. We got a good one. It's Kamaru Usman versus Rafael dos Anjos. The odds are Kamaru Usman at -290. Dos Anjos comes back at about +230. Shop around. You know, you always want to shop around, especially if you're putting some big money behind these guys. Dos Anjos, a former UFC lightweight, I'm sure you've heard by now. He's been a welterweight the last few years, done well for himself. Just came up short against Colby Covington recently, so he's got to work off that loss. And Kamaru Usman, I mean, that guy has just been on fire. He even trained for a fight and got paid for a fight that he didn't fight this past September in Dallas, Texas. He was going to be the substitute in case Woodley or Till or they had any problems there, but it didn't come to fruition. So anyway, let's talk about this fight card. As you can tell, I'm already on a roll. I'm going to go first. I'm always going last. I'm going to go first this time. It's about who's going to pressure the other guy and make the other guy react. That's something that I misjudged on Rafael dos Anjos and his ability to do that to Robbie Lawler. I thought he was going to maybe use his footwork and move around a lot and dodge some of those big punches, at least till the fight got later on, and in the later rounds, or until he was able to maybe get the fight to the ground off a scramble or maybe a well-timed double leg, and then offer up what he has on the ground. Because Lawler's just really, really strong and athletic, and I completely got that one wrong. And so I'm wondering who's going to win the race to apply pressure here in the Usman and RDA fight. And I'm going to stick with the bigger guy because I think they're both talented, but I think Usman really has a chip on his shoulder, and he's out to make a statement for this fight so that he can get that title fight versus the winner of Colby Covington and Tyron Woodley. That said, I don't think it's going to be an easy night, and he better not find himself with RDA on his back because RDA is still very dangerous with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I just think Usman is going to be able to get the fight to the ground and find himself in the positions to ground and pound his way to a decision. Give me Usman. Danton, who do you like?
I think the odds makers got it about right right now. I mean, who knows where the public's going to take it by fight time, but I agree with you. I think pressure is going to win the day. That's why I picked Rafael dos Anjos to beat Robbie Lawler. I felt like his pressure translates well to welterweight. I think Rafael dos Anjos has proven that. But I didn't pick Rafael dos Anjos against Colby Covington because I believe that when you have a fellow pressure fighter who also wrestles and primarily wrestles, those fights have kind of troubled Rafael dos Anjos. You know, he got an early lesson from Gleason Tebow at lightweight, really improved his wrestling since then. Unfortunately for him, met this guy named Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, that loss aged pretty well. You look now, Khabib is now the lightweight champ in Rafael dos Anjos' old spot. So nothing to, degrade Rafael dos Anjos there, but facts are facts, and we saw that kind of come back again against Colby Covington. Interesting facts though, Rafael dos Anjos, he is 11-3 in UFC fights where he can score at least one takedown, and he actually was able to score that takedown against Colby Covington. I got a couple in the fourth round when Colby got a little tired, or at least took a break. Colby recovered well in the fifth round. Now, Usman's gone 5 rounds with Maia. The problem is we've only seen Usman go 5 rounds once, and he was arguably in cruise control. I mean, that fight it never really got out of second gear, and Usman was ahead. So it's really hard to say how he's gonna thrive. I actually give Rafael dos Anjos an edge in the later rounds here in this fight, but I'm going with Usman. I don't think that Usman's going to allow the pressure and will be the one pressuring.
Okay. Goes?
I'm going to go against these two outstanding gentlemen, even though I love them every day here on this show. They are great. But you know what, man? I wanted to go Usman. My brain's telling me to go Usman. But I like the veteran in this one, the guy that's been there before in this situation. Yeah. And Dan, you're right, he does kind of turn it up in them later rounds, and I think that's maybe where he can make this impact. I'm thinking maybe like a split decision, something like that. But the one thing to keep in mind, Rafael dos Anjos has got a newborn. Sometimes that changes fighters. They take a camp or two to get used to that new schedule, everything going on. But I like RDA here, a little bit more complete, and I agree with both of you guys. It's going to come down to who puts that pressure on first.
None of us talked about RDA's leg kicks.
I don't know that
I felt like he
went Usman.
I felt like he was a little bit more dangerous with him about 2 years ago, but I noticed none of us.
I think the problem is they might get him taken down, and then also Usman's a switch stance fighter. He's really consistent about switching his stances, so it's going to make a consistent target very hard, I think.
All right.
But good point, though.
All right. Well, we'll see how it all plays out. We got 2 on the side of Kamaru Usman, 1 on the side of Rafael dos Anjos, but I think it's more of a credit to just the quality matchmaking for this fight. I love it. The winner could be looking at a title shot in 2019.